up for Louis Cato and the Great Big Joy Machine, the band that can. Louis, please. I could not help but notice that we had a wonderful addition to the band. Now, tell everybody who's sitting in tonight, please.
Oh my gosh, we have the incomparably gifted Brandy Younger.
Thank you, Brandy.
Thank you.
Brandy has a new album coming out, Gadabout season, out now. Brandy, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Such a pleasure. My first guest tonight has held senior national security roles under the last 4 presidents and has negotiated past deals with Iran. He's now a CNN national security analyst. Please welcome to The Late Show, Brett McGurk. Mr. McGurk, thanks so much for being here. Okay, appreciate you coming up here.
Of course.
A moment's notice. As I said before, you served as national security positions for 4 presidents. Give my audience just a quick synopsis of your experience in the Middle East and specifically with Iran.
Steve, well, first, it's great to be here at such an important moment. I served under Bush, Obama, 2 years with Trump, and then the last 4 years with Joe Biden. I was his White House Middle East advisor. And I spent a year in Iraq in 2004, and I've been dealing with this vexing issue of Iran really over the last 20 years, one way or the other. I've negotiated hostage deals with Iran. You might know Jason Rezaian, the Washington Post reporter. I helped the deal with him to get out of Iran after spending 500 days in Evin prison. I've negotiated deals with Iran that have failed. I've been under fire from Iran in Iraq. I've known people who've been killed in Iraq. 600 Americans, of course, were killed by Iranian roadside bombs in Iraq. I've known some of them. Every president, Stephen, has dealt with this vexing issue going back to Jimmy Carter. Ronald Reagan sunk the Iranian Navy in an operation named Praying Mantis, very similar to what our military is doing now. It is a vexing, most difficult issue.
Did this attack come as any surprise to you?
I was surprised by the timing, that it came so suddenly. I think you made a good point earlier, Stephen, that the case, I don't think, has been made to the American people, as I think it can be made.
Clearly, it hasn't been made. It remains to see whether it can be made, because generally speaking, the case is better to be made ahead of time. Right now, I mean, given everything you just said, that so many presidents have had to deal with this, back from Jimmy Carter till now, that nobody is defending the Khamenei regime or their behavior in terms of the terrorism, their missile program, their clear pursuit of nukes. Since even no one is defending that, why do you think only 27% of Americans in a Reuters Ipsos poll approved these strikes, 43% disapproved, and 29% were not sure? So about a third of Americans aren't sure. I mean, and this right now, you might say, not to be flippant about this is the good part. When the American military has gone in and done what they always do, which is be extremely effective in their attack, isn't this the chance for the highest possible approval the president could get with this thing? Why do you think it's got such low approval?
I think, let me cite one of the best military strategists in history in this iconic theater. I doubt there's been much talk of Karl von Clausewitz, but he said that any...
We couldn't come up with anything that rhymed with Clausewitz.
Before launching a military operation, a leader, such as a president, has to be clear in his own mind of what he wants to achieve and how to achieve it. And that's not always the strongest suit of President Trump. And that very clear, shifting objectives. So I think the American people have legitimate questions about what exactly are we trying to do here. And what I saw the administration do today, and I've served with a lot of these people. I know Dan Kane, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs. I worked with him very closely and back in the counter-ISIS campaign. He's an incredible, incredible military tactician. And he tried to lay out today, we actually do have specific objectives. We are working to degrade Iran's overall power structure, its military capacity, so it cannot project power outside of its borders. It was a more limited objective than regime change. And he was kind of trying to narrow what presidents seemed to lead with over the weekend. But no, this has not been, I think if you're you have to lay out to the American people. I'm old-fashioned, There used to be this quaint saying, and it was never really like this, Stephen, that foreign policy stops at the water's edge. And presidents would sit behind the resolute desk and lay out to the American people exactly what we're going to do. That's Eisenhower and George H.W. Bush, and I've been in the Oval Office for some of those addresses.
And people came together behind the commander-in-chief after he was
I think that's an important element of a presidential leadership, to lay out to the American people exactly what we're trying to do.
What do we know about the people of Iran? There has been some celebrations in the streets, but then again, they still have the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps have all the weapons.
Exactly.
And they're not exactly going to lay him down and say, oops, our bad. Do you think there's a chance that there actually will be a civilian uprising to overturn this regime?
You know, Stephen, it's a country of 90 million people. We've had no American diplomats there really since the revolution. So our feel for what's happening on the ground is extremely limited. We know, though, that the people demand a change, but you made a key point. And, I had an experience in sitting with Iranian counterparts and negotiating with them, and they would say to us when you put a hard demand on the table, you Americans, you're always changing your government every 2 to 4 years. We can just wait you out. That's how they see us. And I said to this guy once, you have lost the support of a critical mass of your population. The young people of your population do not support your system. And he just said something very menacing. He said, actually, we do have support of enough of the people. He said, we have all the weapons. And the besieged militia, which is the internal security apparatus, and the Revolutionary Guards, they guard the revolution. They protect the revolution. And Henry Kissinger famously said about Iran, they have to decide whether they are a country or a cause. And this Islamic Republic in Iran, their aim is to spread the revolution around the world. It's a revolutionary state, very ideological. And so their aim is to protect the revolution and to use violence against their own people to stay in power. So what I fear, Stephen, when you look ahead, is that even if the people do rise up once again, that what is left of the system, they have the monopoly of violence and they're willing to use it. And that would be very tragic. And I think the administration has to think through that scenario. What do they do if in a month you start to see uprisings and you start to see the mobilization to do another crackdown?
Rumsfeld said after the chaos, during Operation Enduring Freedom, that was the second Iraq War, I think, he said, hey, democracy is messy. He said stuff happens, essentially. Colin Powell, on the other hand, famously gave his Pottery Barn rule, which is you break it, you own it. Does this administration own the situation in Iran?
I can see it's a great question, and I lived through, the issue in Iraq, by the time I got to Iraq, it
was already broken.
The army had been disbanded. We did debathification, meaning the entire Iraq, all the teachers, nobody could work, the whole thing, and this huge vacuum opened up. That is not what I see happening here in Iran. But there's a corollary here to that Powell doctrine that when I hear the Trump administration talk about this, we break it, and it's the Iranian people actually own what comes next. And so they're not taking ownership of that step. And so, but I suspect, even with this leadership decapitation, this regime is resilient. It's multi-layered. They will find another leader. He might be significantly weaker. They might find some. Who
do you think it might be?
It's a great question.
I'm available in June. Brett, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Brett McGurk, everybody. We'll be right back with Daniel Radcliffe.